always having 5 people. Like, so I have Mr. Paul and I have Mr. Dominic Joshua. And girl, when you yes. Alright, today we're going to be talking about that thing that has been disturbing all the citizens of Nigeria, like presently, the scarcity of cash. This cash thing is wait, before I even ask you people, let me just hear, how have you people seen it? What's your experience from this cash, Naira scarcity? Let me not say cash. Most people have dollars, yeah, but this Naira scarcity, how have you been?
You want to go first?
No,
I think you want to go first.
I think my boss should go first. My boss should go first.
It's been quite challenging. Very, very challenging. I mean, it has been extremely challenging. And I think this is when you understand why I understand that statement that cash at hand is different from cash in bank. Yeah. So I'd just like to say that it's been challenging anyway.
As easy as it seems, yeah, it's as difficult as it gets. Because I, for one, I'm not this person that usually goes out a lot. And most of the time, I'm not always inside the public transport. Do you understand? So I'm always either driving. So I've not really been out there to really say what people are experiencing until of late. So I started looking for cash up and down. I mean, it's been challenging, but the system is working.
Okay, and so I'll start with the CBN and the commercial banks. You know, this CBN, just like that, we're going to be having all this problem. Now, even before they introduced the new Naira, there was a limit to, they had to set a limit to how much we withdraw. So, are you going to say this challenge we're having now, if it is CBN's fault or if it's the fault of the commercial bank?
So obviously the CBN's fault. It can't be the commercial bank's fault. Because the commercial banks take order from the CBN, right? And I, for one, feel like the CBN has a very great plan. It was a very beautiful and exciting plan, which everyone was excited about. But the way they executed it wasn't properly okay. They didn't make enough new funds available for people to get access to. So it's obviously not the commercial bank's fault. It's the CBN's fault.
Do you agree to that?
I'd like to deviate a little bit from what he says, even though I agree to some extent. But then again, I think we shouldn't say completely that it's the CBN fault and exonerate the commercial banks. Both parties are financial institutions, yeah. And even though one acts as an umpire or has a superior authority to the other, and one takes orders from the other, I think that it's all about business, okay, right? So from the CBN perspective or CBN angle, it's a fault in the policy implementation or how they went about the implementation. On the commercial bank aspect, it's business for them. So I'll explain what that means. So let's say I am a banker, or I bank with your bank, and I have my account, I have $1 billion in my account. That's the money you use in doing business. That's the money that sustains your business. And so if CBN gives me 50 million naira, and I call you as a bank manager and tell you to keep 30 million naira for me, you will. Or I threaten you that I'm pulling my money out to another bank, you will definitely keep that money for me.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge that we are having. That's where the crux of this whole thing surrounds.
The money is there, they have it, but like you said, they are giving it to those people they feel are those customers that do not want to use. Those ones that will say, I need this money, and they say, no, give it to me. They are giving, this money is there. I saw a wedding video the other time. Like, if you see the way they were spraying this, they were not even spraying it, they were stoning it in bundles. The new Naira that we do not have, that we are seeking, and they're saying it's not there and they're not printing it. No, the money is there, but these commercial banks, one way or the other.
Sorry, I'd like to quickly interrupt, or let me just add immediately.
Yeah.
Let's not completely say that it is there. It is there, but it is not sufficient. Let's be clear about that.
Exactly what I want to say.
But there is a clause that the small that is there is not sufficient enough to go around. So the people who have the means or access to these guys are the ones that are taking the small that is there. So let's say if the small that we have, when we were children, when the food is just small, instead of momsy sharing it to everybody individually in their own plate, they say let's bring it to one plate so that everybody can eat and then get satisfied and seven. So in that, taking that to what we are trying to discuss now, the small that we have, if let's say a bank gets, let's say Lagos State gets 50 million, that's not enough to sustain the whole of Lagos State. But if one person takes 30 out of that 50, leaving the entire state with 20, that's where the problem will be. So the small that we have is what we do not have enough to circulate. That's my thought about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. If that 50 million were just left for like everybody to use, it will recycle
at least,
and it will still go round.
At least.
If I should go to the bank today and I'm able to get 20,000 naira, let's say we are following the limit that was set by the CBN policy, and I'm able to get 20,000 naira, before I would finish spending, you have your own 20,000 you have.
In that we've seen videos go around to a point that some bank managers have decided they received the new cash, but they kept it, they didn't disburse it out. I was also seeing videos of some commercial banks taking the new cash and putting inside the ATM machine, sealed up, making one to go to the ATM without being able to withdraw. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I completely blame the CBN bank because the orders comes from the CBN down to the commercial banks. And we haven't seen any video where any bank manager has been arrested. We only see videos of them saying so bank manager kept so money, has so amount of money in their bank, and they've kept it, they've hidden it behind the old Naira note. But we haven't seen the CBN or the CBN officials that have gone around checking the banks and getting these managers. We haven't seen any of them being arrested. And that's why I feel it's the fault of the CBN, because they know the right thing to do. If you dispense cash to me and you expect me to give you the cash and I don't give it to you, I expect a little bit of reaction from you, right? But none of that reaction has happened so far. We just get stories and we keep seeing videos.
Okay, so to the fact that you said bank manager has been arrested, I thought it was the time that they arrested I think one or two, and they had to shut down.
I haven't heard.
One of the parts some banks were shut down.
That's because of the violence. People got angry and the queue was becoming too much. So a lot of banks felt it was safer to shut down. We also see videos of where bankers are jumping the fence for narrow escape for their life, because the youths outside, the people outside, some even sleep at the ATM. It was that bad. Some sleep at the ATM post till the following day. So imagine if I leave my house coming to look for cash to go to work the following day and I don't get any cash, and you as a commercial worker, you're inside your bank and you come outside and say, please, I am sorry, or we're sorry, at so time cash will be loaded into this ATM and you'll be able to access cash, and you give me the hope to wait, and I waited the whole day and eventually sleep there and I don't get cash eventually, what do you think is going to happen? Of course I'm going to be angry, I'm going to fight you. And that's exactly the reaction we have been getting from a lot of people. Do you understand? And that was a lot of bankers trying to jump fence and escaping for their life, and that's why a lot of banks have been shutting down. Why do you think people went to start burning banks in Abeokuta and other and Ogun states? It's because of this kind of things. Do you understand?
Well, actually, this burning of banks and this rioting is not necessary to me, because they are burning the bank, and tomorrow they say, okay, there's enough cash for everybody. How will you get the money?
In responding to that particular thought, it's not necessary. Those are, as much as they are commercial, owned or run by people, those institutions or those properties are actually servicing public good. They are not your property directly, but indirectly they are providing a services to you. So destroying them, you are indirectly destroying your property. Right, that's one. And then two, destroying the bank is not going to solve the problem, because until the CBN makes funds available to commercial banks, they cannot disburse to you. So if you are destroying, so let's say for example, let's use mainland let's say Lagos mainland has just one bank, right? And you are going to destroy that one bank. You are inflicting more pain on yourself or on the community in the name of expressing your anger, right? Because when all of this thing dies down, the bank will need to take time to build, And that time that they are building, you will need to leave Lagos mainland to maybe Lagos Island to go and withdraw, and that is stress, right? And the few POS agents will be able to access money, will keep on extorting you because you expressed your anger foolishly. So it's even better or okay that all of this is happening just few weeks or days to the general election. So I feel the best way for you to express your anger in a way that is valid and justifiable is at the ballot. So you take your anger there. If this thing is not working for me, go and express your anger there instead of destroying a property. It's like your dad saying you shouldn't go out, and because your dad says you should not go out, you go and deflate the tires of the car. Right? And then maybe your dad says you shouldn't go out because you should go back and sleep first, have your siesta, or go and wash plate, or go and do something at home before you finally go out, and you say, oh, you are angry, you wanted to go out with your friend at that particular point, and then you deflate the cars. And maybe the next day you are set to go back to school, and then the tires are being deflated, and you have to trek to school. That's the situation that we are finding ourselves. So burning a bank isn't necessary at all.
Okay, so for this part that we have to buy, now we buy our own money. We have to buy our own money, either from the bank and the counter in the bank or the POS. People are buying money inside bank.
Yeah, for the bank I'm not sure, but from POS I have bought money a couple of times.
Inside the bank, people are buying money. Wow. These POS people, how do you think they get their money?
That makes sense now.
Okay, you go to the bank and the bank will say you want to withdraw 70,000 naira, and the bank will say you're depositing 80,000 naira or giving you 70,000 naira. Okay, let's say people are saying these POS people they are me too.
I think I justify their actions now. I think I can justify that action. Maybe not justify, but I think I can see why they are charging that rate, the exorbitant charges from POS. Because I mean, if I am depositing 80k and I'm getting 70k out, I need to make that money back because I have lost already. But then again, well, it's a capitalist society.
Yeah, I feel like the POS people they go through a lot of stress to access cash as well.
Because the money is not there. If they can get it easily, then we should also be able to get it easily.
That's what I'm saying. I feel there was this one time I needed cash. I was at the Keja, so I needed to go home, but I felt the ATM opposite where I was paying, but there was a lot of crowd. So I joined the queue. So it has two ATM machines, one on the right and one on the left, and they were both paying. So it's either you join the queue on the right or you join the queue on the left. So at some point the queue I was on stopped paying. It automatically stopped dispensing. So the people on the other side said, listen, the fact that you are in front on the other queue and we're seeing you sing doesn't mean if you come to this place, you would come to the front. You have to go to the back. So eventually we stayed. And we're just making fun of them. Like, okay, we're not this, we're not the islanders now, we're not done now, we're not the withdraw, now we're not the rain now. Our own will soon start. And at some point they want to stop working. So you see, we both became stranded, and there was this guy across, this organizer boy across. So I heard he was doing POS. So I went to him and I said, I wanted to withdraw 5k. How much are you charging me for 5k? And he said 500 naira. And I said, guy, that's a lot. He used to be 100 now. At least collect 300. He was like, no, he can't. I'm like, see, people are always saying that the government are the problem. So I was trying to criticize him and made him feel bad that he's charging 500 now. So I said something. I said, guy, you can't be charging me 500 now. People like you are the reason why this country is not moving forward. And he looked at me and said, bros, if he easy, nobody they ATMs, why he not withdraw for DSAs? So the moment he said that, I felt like, yeah, he was actually right. He has actually spent his time waiting on the line. So he needed to be compensated for it. Yeah, exactly. So I told him that I know this ATM. It pays early in the morning and he lives there. And he was like, why don't I leave my house early in the morning and come and I couldn't say that, like, guy, just give me the cash, let me just be going. So yeah, I understand their pain as well.
Most of them don't even get it from the bank. There was one time I went to the market to buy meat. So I was telling the man, Papa, you get enough cash. I will do transfer for you. Papa say, no, people when they do PS go come, I go send for them, collect my own money. So the money is not there. If you cannot get it, then okay, let's say you are you and I run a POS business. If you cannot get the money, how do you expect me to get the money? Because they're not bankers. Even bankers, I don't hear bankers complaining that they do not have money. The money is not there.
I have bankers friends who are
So if
complaining
bankers
that,
don't have money, how do
one
you
of them had
expect
to
me?
refund my money because I asked her to help me pull out money from the bank, but it wasn't possible. So she had to refund my money after like 3 days or thereabouts.
So if you don't have it, how do you expect the PS people to have it? Probably they might have, let me say, they might have bought the money, so them too they have to resell, and they cannot sell at the usual price, the old price, because they got it. Normally they will just charge us 100 naira because of maybe the charges they do receive from their finance institution. But now they are not charging us for those charges. They are charging us because they bought it.
So let me come in here and say this. This is where our humanity comes into play, right? Because we operate a capitalist society, and what that means is that we are driven by demand and supply, right? So I have the exclusive rights to fix my price, and there is also no standard regulatory body that can say, okay, this is what everybody takes irrespective of whatever is happening. And there is also nobody that is out, no standard government body that is out to punish defaulters. So anybody can go away with anything that they are trying to do. I said all of that to establish this, that even if I go to the bank and I buy money I buy 70,000 for 10,000 that I pay 10,000 to get 70,000 out. If I decide to give 5,000 to 10 people and maybe charge them 500 or 200, even if I charge them 300, I'll make that 10,000 back in that 70,000.
How will you three times 10?
Hold on, I'm coming. If 3 times 10, that's for 5,000, right? That's about 50,000. 5,000 times 10, that's about 50,000.
Okay, that is 50,000. So you have 20,000 left.
Yes, you have 20,000 left. Okay. I can still make my 70,000.
No.
If I decide to raise the bar up and charge 500 more, I can still make my money. I think when you go to buy the money, the POS agent should be able to do their mathematics. That okay, if I buy this thing for 10,000, how much will I charge? Because I remember last week Sunday, a lady asked me to withdraw 20,000 for 6,000. She paid 6,000 to get 20,000. That was ridiculous. I ended up paying 3,000 to get 15,000 out. That was just last week Sunday. I didn't have any other option. I had to pay it and get. I gave her 3,000, collected 15,000 back. The following day, I paid 600 to get 3,000 right? So what I'm just trying to say in essence, that might be extreme, but if they sit down to put into to do their mathematics, if I charge 500 naira for 5,000, will I get my 10,000 naira back? So I am not losing. They are not going to lose because they are already collecting the charges.
That's what they are charging.
They are doing more than. Nah, they are doing more than.
At some places,
so that's just what I think.
She made the ones with the Christian heart.
The person I withdraw from, she charges 1,000 for 10,000. I think that is 500 for 5,000. And she was not telling that at this point they do buy those and like this, like that. And I sat down to calculate with her. If they should collect 200, she will not be able to make it. That's why when you were saying 300, I was saying no, it shouldn't work out. Yes. So I think that 500. So that 500 I understood. Okay, it was okay, and she wasn't even going to get like gain more. I'm faulting those people that will be charging 1,000 for 500, 5,000. So somebody is going to withdraw 5,000 from you. And you're giving the person 4,000. Don't you have conscience? Like, you know, this situation now, people are feeling like they are delivering, dispatching money. They'll package it and dispatch because of these charges and this
That's
scarcity
scary.
and all that.
That's one thing I'm not sure I'll try out.
Yes, I heard one woman had to review money to her child in school because she sent 10,000 the last week. When the child went to withdraw, the child was giving 7,000. There's 3,000 naira charge for 10,000.
3,000 is enough for a student to cook a full pot of soup.
For how long?
Why are you talking like the price of things have not increased in the market?
Guy, even the prices of things have increased in the market. 3,000 is enough for a student to make a pot of stew.
So we
What kind of stew do you want to make?
I'm saying a student. I'm saying a student. So you're not going to compare the life of a student with the life of a working class Indian.
See, a student maybe the person has to pay.
If you go buy
fees.
tomato 500 naira, buy this, buy meat
How long
1,000,
does
2
it
days,
be?
3 days, it's enough.
Then after 2 days, it's going to know you put it.
We are saying 3,000. It's the 3,000 that we are actually looking at for now, not how long it's going to last.
Alright, this is you're saying it depends on the location. There are some places that you go to buy tomatoes, you see the quantity of tomato they will give for the amount of money they call, you just be like, what is this?
But you know that 3,000 is at least
No, it's
can take
possible.
a student.
It's possible
a
for a
square
student.
meal
It's
at
possible.
least.
Did you get what I said?
Yeah, I do.
The POS person charged 3,000
For 10,000. So out of that 10,000, the guy has lost 3,000. So that's what I'm saying. That 3,000 that he has lost to clothes is enough at least to buy him food, lunch at least.
Yes.
So it will save that money. The money will still last small for him. But he don't come out 3,000, so he can't live on with 7,000. So let's say he was supposed to use 2,000 per day. He don't already lose that one and give POS.
Then the next time the mother was supposed to send money, she had to send it through Korea, so it's like way big money. Because she had thought of, okay, if I send, they will now remove 3,000. So let me just put it together with these things. These are the period that friends will call you and say, do you have money? Like, I have some cash. Not that you don't have money, but you do not have, like you said, cash at hand.
You don't have cash.
It's like I have some cash, so you come and collect some.
I borrowed yesterday. I borrowed 1K yesterday, and the guy, let me transfer for you. No, don't. Next week, when you finally have access to cash, give me my money back.
Wow.
Do you know my mommy came back from market yesterday and she was telling me that she's tired. That she just said, Mommy, I don't tire. I don't sell market. I don't see my money. Everybody transport. So is that bad? So but now I see how would she go to buy again if this one finishes? Like,
Maybe she should transfer, give them transfer back.
Transfer for them. So this is how bad it is. I think they are taking us back to the time where people do keep money in their houses and profit the banks, because I don't understand.
But that's part of what.
That's part of the reason why
we are here.
Yes,
that's why
trying to eradicate those stuff off and
all
clear
of
it
this
off.
thing in the first place, right?
People will not take their money to the bank again now.
Why not?
If I have
Listen,
money,
yesterday I went out with my mom. I went to bank, and to my surprise, this guy will say I like Instagram. I see things where they happen for this country. Do you understand? I saw a lot of people rushing into the banks with a lot of cash, people with Naira notes. And I said to myself, wait, these same people are the same class of people that complain that they don't have money, they are broke. But why is this person getting this amount of money? Agents, market women, they were all at the bank, they're queuing up just to go and put.
Shocking.
I was like, where did they get this amount of money from? So these people have this amount of money at home and they are complaining and lamenting that there's no money at all. This is so because they see that the government are not joking. The policy has come and it has come to stay, which is a very good policy. Do you understand? Now they have no other option than to bring out the money. Trust me, pass by any bank on Monday, you will still see people still trying to go and deposit the old Naira cash. Because a lot of people still have it, so this policy is a very good policy. I mean, those things are not supposed to even be happening, keeping cash in the house. I mean, transfer is okay. But my only challenge with transfer is the fact that if you do transfer now, you don't get to see the money immediately. Do you see? That's the kind of problem that they need to look into as well.
Just like everything just happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You cannot access your money. You cannot even get rid of the transfer. The transactions they are doing online. There's no network service. You make a transfer and they hang in. You have to wait. You know, my colleague on Friday said she had to make transfer to the conductor. Like Okay, if the conductor did not get to see the alert, you will not have to wait before
So,
you get
so
to
you
work.
have to do the transfer early enough before you get to your
Before
bus
you,
stop. That's what I actually did this afternoon. I had to transfer early enough before I got to.
that's because you know who you are transferring to. But this is just a commercial bus. You go to the bus stop and they enter bus. How is
All of us will gather wait there till you see the manual. We'll gather wait there till you see the
That is
manual.
the thing. So if you're rushing somewhere, there's no way it cannot work. What do you think the workforce should do at this time?
The workforce.
Yeah, with what's happening.
Well, like they always say that desperate times require desperate measures. This is time for. So I'll talk to two category of persons. First is going to be employers of labor and specifically HRs and admins in every organization. This is time for them to wear their humanity cap and adjust their working condition. If the services that you render is such that can allow people work remotely, I think this is the time for them to adopt that approach just for the time being.
More like COVID-19 era.
Yeah, more like COVID-19. That's it, just to help people cushion this effect. Because I'm not sure I'll be able to go to work on Monday, even though I work hybrid, right? And so if I don't have cash, so for example on Thursday morning I was out at the junction. I had someone who was supposed to take me to work. I was out at the junction around 5:30. He just sent me a message that his car is not starting. So I was almost stranded because I didn't have any cash on me. I needed to, the next two more buses that came, I had to ask them first, will you accept transfer? They said yes. And I entered. So if those guys did not accept that transfer, I would go back home and send an email. So this is that point where the HR community need to adopt a flexible working condition to just to cushion this effect. Then the second people I'd like to address would agree that bulk of the people that man the public transport system are either uneducated or illiterate, so to say, bulk of them, because there are some graduates amongst them. This is when the tech community should actually find a solution to this, right? Because this is when they should develop applications or software. I think one of these LabRide, ride, is it LabRide? Yeah, LabRide. LabRide. You can actually pay with. I saw a POS stuff on the bus where you can swipe your card and make payment, right? So that's commendable. If other transport system can come up with a QR code such that if I swipe the card or I scan it, I can actually make payments seamlessly, just for this time being until we completely transit into that cashless society. That's what I think can help us cushion this effect at the time. But aside from that, we are all on a long ride. Aside from that.
Okay. Well, no, this one, let me just add to this one. Though it's out of, what if actually they want to use our money to pay debts? Like, they said everybody deposit your money. After depositing our money, you're unable to withdraw our money. What if you wake up tomorrow?
But you'll see your money in your account.
What if you wake up tomorrow now?
Now get money, they complain. Now we will know they get money.
It's going to be disastrous. So it's going to
It's
be
going to be like
it's going
this
to
one
be a
is
lot.
happening now. Is it?
I cannot even imagine it because the country is
Somebody
going to
just said
burn
you one
down.
time, like I was in the ball. Somebody
I'm not sure that's a possibility.
It's not something that is going to happen.
It's just a conspiracy theory. I'm not sure.
I heard one of the banks were saying that they burnt down their branches and they're going to use customers' money. And it's a bank that was like, this should just not.
Yeah, they will use
my
customers' money indirectly with charges, with unnecessary charges.
Down maintenance and all that
Charges
stuff.
that you won't be aware. So I think I do regular check on my account, my bank statement, I'm a very prudent human being, just to be sure that the money that comes in, I know how it goes out. just to be sure that, because the way the inflation in the country is will make you think you are reckless in spending, but the truth is you are not. Things are just unnecessarily expensive, and so you would have 50k right now before you say
you're left with 10,000, and you ask, what did I buy? Right? So I have to do that so I don't have high blood pressure, or so I don't assume or accept that I am reckless and expensive. And I saw when they say digital transfer, I was charged 100k for 100 naira for digital transfer. And I'm trying to wonder, when was I informed by the bank that there will be digital transfer, there will be SMA deduction, there will be card maintenance, there will be new months, you send me new month messages, you are deducting from my account. I didn't ask for all of those things. So you see, all of those charges, now your money bank will still use bill that those branches back. All the unnecessary charge, they will just introduce one unnecessary charge. At last you complain, you still need the money, they will still deduct the charges at the end of the day. So yeah.
That's true. Also, guys, without taking more time, let me say, if the government would, if they could, if there's a way you can advise the government or the civilian or the public, what would be your advice?
Well, that's a very sweet question. So I feel at this point, what the government needs to do is they should try as much as possible to make the 100 naira notes, the 200 naira notes available to everyone to access, because that's the only option we have right now. I don't think at this point any bank has any new naira note anymore. I don't think so. But I feel the new naira notes, the 200 naira note, the 100 and the 50 naira notes are still valid. So they should try as much as possible to make it available so that people would, it's just these common people that are just complaining. Like we, the common people, are people that are complaining. The big people don't actually feel these things that we're feeling. Do you understand? Like what happened at Rajota yesterday, what started the fight was the fact that there was a wedding, there was a party there, and people were seen spraying the new naira notes, big people, and the area boys around got angry and like, we don't have this money, and people are busy spraying this money. And I think that was what started the fight at Rajota yesterday. Do you understand? So I feel the government should try as much as possible to make the 200 naira note, the 100 naira note, the 50 naira note available to us. I think that will settle a lot of basketballs in this country,
So in addition to what my friend just said, I'll talk to this citing there's something. I'm a project manager, and so there's something that we always make reference to when we go for or try to implement a particular project, and that's the do no harm principle, which simply states that in your attempts to profile a solution or in an intervention in a particular community, do not inflict more pain on them, right? So because if you look at this clearly, the government were all about to solve a particular problem, but they have created another problem in the process. That speaks to just one thing: the cycle of policy formulation and implementation, the agenda setting, the formulating the policy, the decision for that policy might have actually been right. It was actually right, but the implementation is where the government had issues with it. The policy as a whole is poorly implemented. So what I would advise the government at this point is, it has already happened. The damage has already been done. So how do we remedy this thing? So I'll just say quickly, it should be to do two things. One, have how do I frame it? Have a standard monitoring team across all states who will ensure that all banks comply with the directive that you are giving, who will ensure that funds that are being sent into the bank, no matter how possible, how small it is, are being loaded into the ATMs and also made available to the public. And people or banks who default should actually face huge consequences. If 1, 2, 3, or 4 banks are actually being punished for defaulting, it will serve as a deterrent to the other banks. That's one. Secondly, an advice I would give to the federal government or the CBN at this point, just like he said, the legal tenders, which is the 100 and the 200 that you have actually agreed that people should use in the exchange of goods and services, should to a very large extent be injected into the banking system so that it can be circulated and then everybody can have access to it, pending when the new 1000 or the redesigned note will be sufficient enough for people to access. But then again, I have been thinking, what if all of this scarcity is just because of the elections? Are we going to have the new Naira note immediately available after the election? So all of this is going to be in vain if the government says that they want to curtail or forestall vote buying, right? What if the politicians use the new Naira note to buy the vote?
Yes, I mean, I thought of it. I guess, okay, probably that's it. Why we do not have sufficient.
I don't think they will do that until the results are being announced. And I feel the reason why this started in the first place is because of this stuff you said. This thing you said is because of the because of the election.
Yeah. So the question now is, what if the politicians, because of the power and their access, they have gathered this money. They have access to the money.
The new Naira, you mean the new Naira note?
Of course, the new Naira. The little that have been circulated or printed, what if they have access to it? And then what if they now use that new Naira to buy the vote?
You see, they wouldn't probably have. They would not probably have the chance to buy as much vote as they would have gotten with the old Naira note. Probably just a few. That is very possible.
So that's why they are complaining that they should allow the
vote exactly
so that they can actually buy the vote sufficiently enough as they would want to buy to guarantee them the vote. But my own concern is, what if at the end of the day, the Naira wey we talk say he never reach, or the Naira wey we talk say make they no use and buy vote, they still can't go use and buy the vote.
And that's why I'm telling you that it's possible that could happen as well. To some certain extent, they feel buy certain votes. But it's not going to be as much as when they have a lot of the old Naira note. Do you understand?
I agree.
That one is very possible.
Because I'm hearing some governors that are telling their citizens that the old notes is still legal tender, like how the president is saying something else, the CBN is saying something else, and you are saying something else. Which one will want for you?
That's an open disrespect to the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if I were to be the president, I would take drastic measures on it.
So these people, they are politicians. At some point, I don't really believe what I see on TV anymore, because this governor El-Rufai, the guy just they bust my head. How can you come out and tell the people that they should continue using the old Naira note, that nothing is going to happen? El-Rufai is Buhari's guy, like they are close friends. Do you understand? And I feel that's why he feels he has that advantage of doing as he likes, because he knows probably Buhari don't do.
Okay, this is the very last thing I'll be asking before it. What do you think will be the consequences if this scarcity continues? Like, if like after the election, we are still unable to withdraw, unable to access cash.
When I was coming here today, I said to the bus driver, I said, what if it happens that immediately after election, the person that has won has been announced, and the federal government comes out tomorrow and tells us that we can use both the old Naira note and the new Naira note?
Never funny.
Then I feel like the good part is going to be the fact that they achieved a lot. I mean, in the sense that they probably prevented a lot of the politicians in bribing their way through in buying votes. Do you understand? So that's how I feel.
Well, so for me, it's going to be devastating, and there are some possibilities that we should not even be thinking of. Because I mean, what's the need? What's going to be the essence that you stressed all of us, put all of us under such stress and tension and unease of doing business, and then at the end of the day, you take us back to it just doesn't make sense at all, yeah. And so it's a possibility I don't even want to think about. I don't even want to imagine. And I would have wanted to say that that's when they are really going to see the protest that they are trying to curtail. But then again, it's not going to happen, because I mean, you've made doing business now easy again for us. So nobody's going to want to protest again. Everybody's just going to complain more, and then after a while we go back to our normal life.
Exactly.
But it's a possibility I'm praying so hard that it shouldn't happen. It should be forward ever and backward never.
But the excuse that they are giving now at the moment that the reason why the new cash is not available to everyone or is not everywhere yet is because they don't have enough materials to produce the new cash. What if after the election they still insist that they don't have new materials? And the only option we have is going back to the old Naira notes.
Like I said earlier, it's a possibility I'm not thinking of and I don't want to think of.
Alright.
I believe in progression and I should be going forward instead of retrogressing. So I don't even want to think about that possibility at all.
Okay, guys, so you heard it all. That is our own 2 cents of what is happening. I know you have so many things in your mind of everything that is happening, but trust me, everything is going to go back to normal. Just calm down,
Life is going to
relax. We're going to go back to spending money. You know how you can spend money now. You will have money, sir. So thank you guys once again for staying with us, and thank you, Mr.
Ishaku of Lagos.
Ishaku
That's
of
right.
Lagos.
So I just want to urge Nigerians, please, let's just be calm, relaxed, and see what happens at the end of the tunnel, you know. It's nice talking to you all. Please, if you're not subscribed to this channel, try as much as possible to subscribe. And if you want to follow me on my social media handle, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is at Ishaku of Lagos. And Ishaku is spelled ISHAKU of Lagos all together.
Alright, so just as a parting word, what I'd like to say to Nigerians is do not destroy public properties. It doesn't add or subtract anything from us. But what I'd like to advise us all is next week Saturday, if the elections are still going to hold, we pray it does hold. Please go and express your grievances at the poll. That's the best thing that we can do as a nation, we can do as a people. And that's all I'd just like to say to us. Do not destroy any public property. Go and express your grievances.
You get government for mind.
Go and express your grievances at the pool. My name is Joshua Dominic, and just in case you want to connect on social media, especially on Twitter, the name cut across all social media platforms, Joshua Dominic, but on Twitter it's strictly Oba of Uyo.
Straight.
Okay, guys, please do well to subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and again, leave your comments down in the comment section. It's your home girl, Onyinyechi Kalu. Bye.